Part 6. I think that by notifying the world through Facebook that we managed to reach our target audience. We put a link to our 2-minute opening sequence and another link to where they could answer questions about it on Facebook, and then waited as we accumulated results. During the planning stages, we immediately decided at having the main character being a girl who was roughly our age, and also that there would be some family issues to go into. Out of the 17 people that did the survey, 9 were girls, which then agrees with the treatment that it would attract a more feminine audience. 14 of our recipients were aged between 15 and 17. This correlates with our characters' ages of 17, and the other 3 were aged 18 to 21. When asked if they liked the opening sequence, answers were very much, intensity was high and curiosity set in, and also I thought it was well filmed and was interesting to watch. This already informs us that we have captivated our target audience, as before mentioned, 14 of which were aged 15 to 17. When asked if the narrative was clear and easy to understand, people said, "The first minute was a bit confusing, but I really liked it from when she opened her eyes onwards." And also, "No, not really clear, but I got the gist of what it was meant to be, the scary voices in the background." 11 just said that yes, they liked it. This informed me that one of the things we should have paid attention to was the understanding of the text outside the circle who created the thriller. When asked if it was true to the thriller genre, people said yes, it was interesting and exciting, but still has an aspect of confusion from the viewer that makes you want to keep on watching or expect a sequel. Also, more of a suspense or horror, I'd say, telling us that we in fact fulfilled part of the brief because it had aspects of a thriller genre. When asked how The Mistrust compares to other thrillers that you have watched, responses include, like The Secret Window, it begins in a calm state with a hint of menace creating attention, and also it draws influence from many of them, but as a whole it's not like any I've seen. It has the same enigma element, yet it is much more supernatural than a lot of the other thrillers I've seen, which is good. I think it's quite similar to a few, such as Scream, because of the whole unknown killer thing. Saying that, perhaps we should have paid attention to making the film different and less generic and more of a hybrid thriller. When asked what The Mistrusted was most similar to, 5 said Prom Night, 6 said Disturbia, 3 said The Secret Window, The Ring, 7 and The Sixth Sense, and 1 said none of the above. This wasn't the results we were expecting, as we thought the film was most similar to Prom Night, as it had the same plot of being stalked and looking for revenge. When asked what the weaknesses were, people said a little more story could have been given away in a voiceover like the setting of the story, and a thriller in my opinion is more action-packed and at a faster pace, so maybe an increase in the speed when the actress wakes up after the dream may work better. 3 said none, and 3 claimed that it was just confusing, telling us that perhaps we tried to make things a little too suspensey and mysterious when we should have gone for a more simpler approach. When asked what its strengths were, people said the way the director created a sense of predator watching his victim was clearly presented. The guy at the door and the cat was weird, and the way it ended gave a sense of loneliness, which was good as it made the viewer feel insecure. The fridge shot was suspensey and scary. This showing that we paid close attention to detail that we thought the audience would think and what the audience would think. When asked how it could be improved, people said, "I think you should take all the dialogue out, as that way it would make it look like so much more suspenseful. Also, perhaps by showing them what the girl received in the post, that way we know a little bit more what will happen later. The pace of the film after the dream should be a little quicker." This all showed that the people who participated paid close attention to what we were filming before they partook in the survey. In conclusion to part 6, I would say that I've reached my target audience, as the majority of those that took the test were aged between 15 and 17, and also the majority who took part were girls. Plus, the overall feedback was generally positive. But from what I gathered, the critical points I should have worked on during post-production would have been the pace after the dream sequence, and during pre-production the actual content to be more clear and perhaps a little less complex. I also think that perhaps I have reached an audience above my intended target audience, as some of the results from the feedback were very in-depth and analytical.